Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today on the first episode.
Hello, hello from Canada.
Thanks for joining me and Robert today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the HO world. We're going to talk a little bit about the track, and we're going to talk about this cool innovation that is absolutely making the running of HO slot cars a lot smoother and better lap times for sure. All right. So before we do, we'll talk a little bit about the innovation behind these and why this makes the car work better. So what we've done here is we've added the braids onto the shoes, and when you run them on the HO track, it has two advantages. One, it's always cleaning the rail, and two, it offers a better connection than the metal shoe that's already on the car. Now, this is not an idea that I've come up with. This is not an idea that the other guy came up with. This is an idea that AFX came up with back in the day when slot cars were first happening. And we're going to have a look at the actual chassis that this innovation was very first done on, and it's never been done since. So let's have a look at that right now. Make my way over here.
We're talking about the good old Super 2 chassis from way back when. Back in 1972 or 3. Actually,
All right.
2. The braids were only put on the very earlier cars that were released, actually.
Okay, so here you can see this is the chassis itself, and when we scroll up, you can see at the very bottom here it says braided pickup shoes for competition racing are included. They're not included in this picture, unfortunately, but they are included with the car. So this is the very first mention of braids ever being on an AFX car. And in case you're wondering where they would be, the braids that the AFX had fit over the bumper at the front of this front of the shoe, and then of course went up and along the shoe itself. And we'll have a look at what that looks like. So this is somebody has sort of jimmied this. This is probably like the older braid. You can see it's really scuffed up, but this is the chassis with braid on it, and this goes way back. So this is probably the first mention, the Super 2s, of this style of racing.
We're talking about the early 70s.
Very early, and innovation like this hasn't happened in a while. So along the way, you come up with your own ways to do things. And I think in this respect, having a look at a few cars I've modified already. Okay. So you can see I've literally just used Gorilla Glue, but not the hard kind, the kind that stays pliable. And you can see I've done it on here too. Right. So let's get these on the track. Oh, and we do have people. All right. So just before we put them on the track, I guess. Good morning, Doug. Thanks for joining us, brother. Glad you can join us today. Another Canadian in the house. Thanks, brother. PNW. Yeah, brother. Awesome. Glad you're here. Thanks, brother.
Uh,
Oh, Dennis. Thanks, Dennis. It's good to see you, brother. Right on. Okay, let's get these puppies on the track.
I cannot see the chat, Dad, but
You can't see the chat.
what do I need to do with that?
What you'd probably have to do is open YouTube and just use the chat from the YouTube.
Okay.
Morning, Joe.
Can do that. Well, good morning to everyone who's joining. I will find out who you are in a while.
We'll get her figured out. No problems, brother. All right. So we have the two cars. Actually, I have three. Now, if you ever own, of course you've owned or you haven't, but I'm about to tell you, if you own an HO track, especially a 4-lane or any large size track layout, you understand how long it takes to get the cars running. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of putting the braid on the bottom of your shoes. All right, so here we go. It could take off backwards because I was running this car on my Carrera track. Oh, I guess it doesn't even have a guide pin. So that makes, oh, here we go. That, of course, makes it pretty hard to run. Okay, so I believe we're running running the yellow track. Okay, so I haven't cleaned this track in about 2 weeks. And with the braid on the bottom of the shoe, the car goes every time. And if you listen, not much clack, clack, clack going on either. In case you forgot what the clack, clack, clack sounds like. Let me get a car. I know. Here. All right, so we all recognize this car. This is the Mustang from the Horsepower Shootout. Very noisy. Certainly a lot noisier than the car I was just driving. And that what happens is the braid actually smooths out the ride. So every time you go over a crack or where the track is joined, here's oh, I gotta first off put it on the proper track. All right, so with the braid, what you get is a little bit more control over the car. You get a smoother ride and less noise. So you can see how certainly moves a lot smoother. Now the advantages to this is by having the braid on the bottom of your shoe, what you've now done is you've literally just cleaned the track to start racing. Let me find a car with a guide pin in it. That's not going to go flying here. Try this one. So this just has the normal AFX shoes. The track is clean and we're ready to roll. Okay. So that's one of the innovations that I really like the most probably that never took off for HO, and it's kind of sad that that never happened. For some odd reason, they just decided to stop doing something that was working so good for them. As you could see, the cars take off and go almost every single time. All right. So did you get it figured out, Robert?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So a couple more people have joined us. Thanks, Joe. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Canadians. Well, some people got to push their brand, and well, for us, that's Canadian. Thanks for joining us, Joe. I appreciate it. The Eddie Nation. Thank you, brother. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing your stuff, your track get going. It's going to be awesome, man. All right. Of course, Dennis, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. No drama. Thanks for joining us this morning, brother. Is it morning or afternoon for you yet? Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about the size of HO cars that are. I was expecting to see some fish by the title name.
There's not much fish to see here.
Yeah, we're trying to twist it up a little bit. Normal's boring. All right, so let's talk a little bit about car size now. All right. So Where is it? I gotta go get it. All right. So, all right. So, AFX has been putting out some really nice cars, but the problem is when the cars are side by side, they're too big for the track. Okay, that is too wide. The cars touch. Now, AFX has put out a couple good liveries on this car, right? The black and the gold looks nice, but they're still building it on a chassis. The chassis is okay. It's the shell that's too big, way too big. Look at that. It's all space. They need to start making the chassis a little bit smaller to fit the proper scale. Because what's coming out next, okay? And I'm going to stir up Dan's crystal ball a little bit here, but I could almost tell you that we've just seen two more of cars that are in this shape. Beautiful looking car though, right? Totally awesome. Here's another one. Awesome. Okay. Well, what's coming out next are a couple more of these. Why do I know that, do you say, without knowing that they're coming out or AFX putting them up? Because this is what AFX is rolling on right now. They're rolling on this shell, right? They're rolling on this shell. They're rolling on this shell. And by the way, here's the car with the front tire pit kit. Whew. Awesome. Just awesome. Okay.
Cars for sure.
Absolutely fantastic. And of course, whites. Okay. AFX, I believe, has already used deliveries for this car that this team had. The only thing that's left now is just to make up liveries of their own, which could look cool if they do it right, and whites. So nice cars, very nice cars, absolutely fantastic, and good to see a new mold, right? Now, the main question is, where's Auto World? What happened to Auto World? Well, for those of you who don't know, Auto World was bought by a company whose main task is making sure that the company that they bought makes money. And unfortunately, slot cars, the division of slot cars by round 2, is not making money. That's the reason why in 6 months we've seen no new releases at all. Now, when you say no new releases, you could easily say, well, last month they put out the 4-car dragster set. Those aren't new. Those were in the dragster sets they released already. They were just releasing the cars singly. They're not new. They existed. Auto World had nothing, probably has lots of these cars left over, so they packaged them to blow them out. But the end result is we still haven't seen any new cars. We're waiting for the 3-car Breeze set right now, and we're also waiting for the Cinema Series. There's 3 cars. One of them's the John Wick. One of them's the Blues Brothers car, which I am more than interested in getting. And I don't even barely buy any Auto World product, but that is definitely a keeper. So it'll be nice to see when they finally come out. The only question is, when? So that's what we're waiting on from Auto World. And it also looks like if Auto World's going to be putting out any new cars, they're probably going to be exclusives paid for by somebody. Because by the looks of it, Auto World doesn't want to put out any, for one, no new sets at all. So it's HO is heading in a very interesting direction, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because what's happening right now is all the old timers are happy with the cars that currently exist, but all the people coming into slot cars right now, all the younger people we're trying to bring in, they're not interested in a T-Jet. They're not interested in a extraction that's not working properly. They want modern cars like the Tokyo Drift set. They want cars like that. They don't want 57 Chevys and 57 Nomads or 55 Chevys. These are collector cars for people who have nostalgia for those cars. I never had one. I barely ever seen them unless I go to car shows every Sunday, and which I'll be starting to do pretty soon. But that's the only place I've ever seen 55s and 57s. They have no nostalgia for me, and the market is absolutely flooded with cars that newer slot car participants have no interest in. People who are coming into the hobby now, they want to see cars like this. They want to see cars like this. By the way, that's a Super 3 with an AFX chassis.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Dan. The younger people, they can't really relate to the cars that the older guys like.
Well, that's just right, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why this car has done so good for AFX. Not only because it's new, but it's part of the new generation as well, right?
Yeah.
That's why these cars do so well for AFX. It's part of the new generation. But we know they're too big. Too big. Too big. So they look nice.
And it is a shame because the current chassis they have now is one of the smallest chassis there are, right? Actually.
That's right.
Here. There's plenty of room underneath.
Look at how much room is under there. Here. This is... There you go. Look at that. Lots and lots of room. That could be brought here. Look how much space. Watch.
See that? The amount of overhang on the front of the car there, too. That's
all
like half an inch by the looks of it.
Man, there's a huge. You could put like a whole entire flashlight in the front of the car there if you wanted to light it up.
Yep.
The back is almost the same thing. There's a lot of room behind that gearing. You could tighten that up for sure.
Absolutely. Anyway, their excuses, they're making them larger for detail, but like I don't see the extra detail that you don't see in an auto road car, really. Or
that's right.
You know, it's just a matter of how much you want to put in there, right? Talk about detail. Look at the Bauer cars, okay? Some of the convertible Bauer cars have full interiors.
Now, these two cars barely fit. Okay? That's only because this car is as big a scale as they could get away with to have two on the track properly. Right? Because here's the two Mustangs. They're touching. So the direction HO's moving in right now is very strange. I can tell you from my personal perspective, I could flat out tell you what's happening right now in the HO world. In the HO world right now, it's a cash grab for anybody who's wants to build an exclusive. The track and the system has basically been the same since 1964. Okay, there's been a few spacing changes, but nothing that brings us into a safe zone today. The track hasn't changed. There's been no innovation. Um, I just showed you about the braid on the shoe, and that disappeared almost instantly. Um, Stuff like AFX's Aurora's Computer Center, which is absolutely fantastic. Why they stopped making that? Geez, even for today's standards, that still would be like ever sought after item, and it is sought after. It just costs you an arm and a leg now. Okay, so here's another car, another one of my cars that I've put the braid on, and they always go so easy. This is with the braid and a level 52 magnet. Right? So, super speedway time.
Yeah, Joe just made a very good comment. There's so much potential left in HO.
Yes.
It would be nice to see somebody move forward with it.
Right? Like there's so much Adreno stuff and people doing their own thing. It really surprises me that everyone just gave up. You see, the problem right now is with HO, all the money is in the cars right now. It's not in the track. And it's a bit of a cash grab right now because when they're the only company putting anything out, of course, collectors will have to buy that. And that's all that's available. Well, then that's what you're running. Here, let me clean the track first. All right. So these new F1s have some really cool styling. They look really nice. For myself, I won't be picking up the new AFX cars in a hurry. It's like I said, I'm a little worried at the direction. I used to hold a lot of inventory in AFX cars as a collector, and there's no money in collecting it unless this is what you want to do, or you're now just a buyer and you play with what you buy. Or race with what you buy, however you want to look at it. But they sure do run good with the shoes on them. Are the pardon me. See this? Listen to how noisy this car is. This doesn't have braids. So, as for Auto World I think is in trouble. They're now recalling their deluxe pit kits. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. Apparently, there's a new Tide challenge where people are swallowing these magnets. Oh my gosh, for real, people, get a grip. For cripes. Swallowing magnets. What's next? We're eating clothing, Tide Pods. We're swallowing magnets. Okay, well, that's nothing I would have ever thought. We had cooler things to do, man. We used to ride our BMX bikes and shit. We weren't busy swallowing magnets and eating downstairs, eating our parents' laundry detergent. Jesus. Get a grip. All right. So In the next show we go, we'll be going to the Carrera track, and we'll be talking a little bit about the Carrera. So this is for those of you who haven't seen the Carrera track yet. Let's see, I'm in the way of something here. This one. There we go. So this is it. There'll be the pit lane will be going right where that package is. Oh, there's the new Carrera Pro car still in the box. All right. So when your hobby doesn't give you what you want, in the case of when I first started with HO, the stuff I wanted wasn't out there. So what did I do? I started making videos. And thanks to all you guys, people have been watching them. So for myself, and there's when we're running Carrera Digital, it'll be on that screen right there. So everything will be right at hand. Super cool looking, man. But when your hobby doesn't give you what you want, you find a similar one that does. Carrera Digital and axle box with the stop buttons. Couldn't ask for anything more because that's it all. Unless I run like a polycar track or something else, which I have no plans on doing. It's always going to be, excuse my fat head, my HO track, and the Carrera track will be going on to in the next show. So what do you think of that innovation, Robert? I know the Super 2 is highly sought after. Even today, there are not many Super 2 chassis around, and if they are, they're extremely expensive. What's your thought on that chassis?
Well, in its time, it was something. I mean, I guess if you want to compare it to some of the newer stuff like Vipers and Bulldogs, and it's dated. But any pancake motor cars, I mean, it's a whole different thing than an inline car, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot more issues running a pancake motor than, all that extra drivetrain does affect the performance.
Right.
The extra gears, I mean.
Well, that's just it, right? There's just a lot going on there in order for that motor to work really well, and it does work really well. It's just it's a little bit older. They weren't taken care of to lead them to this point in their life. Most of them were raced or played with really hard, so they didn't quite, not like a 440 times 2. Holy mackerel, those things hit the walls, wheels pop off, and you just put them back on and get back on the track. I mean, wow. So it's really nice. Yeah, Joe, that's just to answer what Joe was saying there. That's kind of like for me. I really love the HO. As you can see, I've got the high speed, I've got the urban, and I've got the drag strip. But like I said, when you're really enjoying what you have, but there's no innovation coming in and things haven't changed, then you sort of got to do what you got to do to bring that racing joy back. I like the HO, but most of my concentration lately has been on the Carrera track, mostly just because I'm still building out the layout, waiting for a few things to come in the mail. I have a few things I have to build. But I think the slot car community, everyone's where they are right now, and everyone's really enjoying their what their scale is, I guess. If you haven't tried another scale, I suggest you at least find somebody or go somewhere that does and try out another scale. For me, it was literally meeting Raul from Conquest. He sort of got me interested in the larger scale, and that was like, I don't know, a year ago, not even now. So, you know, you find what you want and you stick with it and you build your empire from there. Now, I've had a few comments about, oh, I don't have as many watchers now or whatever. Well, that's what happens when you go from one genre to another. There's not a lot of people in the slot car world that have both sets and do comments or reviews on both larger and smaller scales. Most people find that it's not worth it, so they'll stick to one or the other because that's where all their watchers are. I have watchers on both sides of the scales, and I know that some videos I put out, other people won't want to watch. It's just how it's going. That's how it'll always go. There'll always be me doing HO videos and me doing Carrera videos, or at least videos on my Carrera track. There'll always be racing here. Me and Irene will be scheduling a race on this track very soon, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But our coming race will be on the Carrera track this Sunday, and we'll be racing the Revo Slot 510s. Guys, if you like the Datsun 510s, this race is going to be kick ass. Right? A-Z and Z. Kick ass. So it's going to be good. It's going to be nice to get the Revos out of the box finally and race them around a little bit. But enough of the Carrera talk. We're here today talking HO. Just out of curiosity, guys, where do you think HO's headed? I know we have a few people in comments who have channels. What are your thoughts? Where do you think HO's headed? For myself, it looks like HO needs to do a turnaround really quick and start thinking about the younger people coming in, because the old timers, 60 and above, they're literally they're already in doing their thing, and that portion, those guys, they like all those exclusives because they've lived that age, and I completely get that. I never lived that age, and all the new people coming into HO never lived that age either. So what HO needs to do seriously is start building more cars that appeal to the masses and not just the crowds. And when I say the crowds, I mean like you have a niche group of people, of collectors, who will buy anything that comes out because they're a collector and they have to. And that's what's happening lately. HO is catering to car buyers and not trying to drag people in with awesome cars like the Midnight Tokyo Drift, Tokyo Drift. You know, those cars did well. The track wasn't anything special, but the cars look great. They ran all right. They were extraction chassis, so they look like this. They look like this. It's a reliable chassis. It's a huge ripoff of the 440x2, and it's complete garbage. It's too loose everywhere. The tolerances are completely gone. Everything is loose and wiggles. And the commentator plate, that one right there, the square piece, is always crooked. I haven't straightened this one yet. Look, it's crooked. And what happens is it pulls the shoe to the side, and it pulls, see this little, I don't know, call it what you want, causeway or whatever, to the hole. Well, that's where the brush is. If that square plate is not lined up properly, that barely even touches the brush behind there because it moves it. I could probably move it with my thumbnail. See if I can do that. Yeah. So there you go. Just like that. All right. So let's put it on the track. This one's got the fin on it. I haven't bothered putting a steel guide pin in Auto World chassis. So we'll run that. Okay. So here's my problem with Auto World. Okay. Like I've always said, 85% of the time you put an Auto World car on the track, it'll go. Well, this has got to be that 15% then. Oh, there it goes. So I brought the Bandit. It's one of my favorite cars. So there's the Bandit. It's on an extraction chassis.
Yep.
So let's see how it does.
Not very impressive, Dad.
Wow. Oh, there it goes. I can tell you, he ain't getting away from Smokey in this car. So let's just take, here's a, I don't know, police car. I probably haven't ran it in forever. Right? Now, this is my best Auto World car. It doesn't have a pin in it. Let's see. Okay, let's take it out of this. All right.
Do you have any 4-gear cars that you can run there, Dad?
Yeah, I got some 4 gears for sure.
I know you have some drag cars for sure.
You mean like the Scooby van or something like that?
Oh, doesn't matter. Anything will do, really.
Here's
Nice. Snap on.
nice and clean. Runs good. I could put it on the super speedway, I think. I'm not sure if the wheelie bars get in the way. Oh. Okay. So, oh, this is the chassis that is running backwards. So let's run it backwards. Woo! Damn. These 4 gears were definitely not made for speed, ladies and gentlemen. If I could find, where's a good one? Oh, this one's on a. Guys, remember this one? Oh, it'll go this way now. There we go. Woo! This is one of my favorite adaptations, definitely, of the 4-gear chassis. I don't know if you guys ever made one of those. Maybe it's time. Whew. All right. Where are we at now? Let's see. Yeah, see, the Bulldog is a good deal. I agree with that. Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. No drama. I am not very enthused with HO lately. I think a lot of innovations are being missed. Um, Certainly, the opportunity to do a gas lane and a change lane has been missed by both Auto World and AFX because they've just been building. They've been concerned with building cars and putting money in their pocket. Innovation costs money. Auto World tried with their 4-lane sets, and they bombed severely. They don't even sell those 4-lane sets anymore. And if you have one of those controllers, I feel sorry for you. I warned everybody. I let everybody know. I made videos. I told everybody. And we're at the point now where, well, I've got a few videos that explain my point on this. Auto World should have never have had should have had a backup plan for those controllers that they've made impossible for people to get into and change the batteries, because if it's rechargeable, you have to know that it's going to go dead and stop working at some point in time. Just to give you an example, in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, think about your phone. Think about how awesome your phone lasted when you first bought it, and then just before you gave it away or sold it for your next phone, think about how often you had to plug it in to get her going. So this is where Auto World is right now, definitely with those sets. Auto World was also supposed to come out with a timer for that set, and that bombed. The 4-lane Auto World set is definitely, I would not go near it. And if you have one of those sets with the wireless controllers, what you're going to need to do is you'll just buy yourself a power track from AFX.
You know, as far as I can recall, too, I mean, Auto World has been promising us just a simple lap counter for like 3 years, 4 years now.
Right.
Still no lap counter, not a decent one.
And remember, guys, I reviewed the Carrera lap counter for using it to time HO, and that worked as well too. And of course, there's lap tracks for your regular analog sets, regardless of what they are, large scale or small scale. So where the question is right now, I guess, is a big question. It could literally be the cover to this particular topic today is where is HO? Where is HO? In particular, where's Auto World? But where is HO? Where is HO going? HO, no new sets have been produced. No new sets are on the way from either company. So
things are really stumbling. I mean, last year we had lots of movement from Auto World. They put out all kinds of product.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing.
Stuff was flying out from Auto World last year. I remember last year at this time, every month, well, I could tell you because you could look back at my Auto World reviews of them. Multiple cars. I mean, even if they weren't great, like on my terms of greatness, there was still lots of cars coming out. There were still lots of people buying the cars. And now, of course, my first review when they didn't have cars was a bit of a joke because I figured, oh, maybe they're just having a slow month or what have you. And the idea is they never got it going. It just started slipping and slipping, and then all of a sudden we find out that Auto World has been bought by a liquidation company who's in charge of making Auto World money and figuring out where round 2 has been slipping. So, and when I say round 2, it's round 2 that's in control of the slot cars. Auto World's just the parent company. So it's really interesting to see.
Hey, Kevin.
Right. That's exactly it, Kevin. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a liquidation investment. They're looking to make their money is what they're looking to do. And slot cars right now are not making money. And there's a few reasons why. Yeah, of course, no drama. Like I said, nothing great has really been coming out in HO lately, but yet I still enjoy my track and all the great cars that have come out. And that's the reason why I haven't taken it down. Technically it should be down by now, but I'm really stalling because I don't want to take it down. I would like to have a full HO track and a full Carrera track, and pretty soon I'll have that both completed and lit up. It's great when you come down the stairs of my house, because when I come down the stairs, right there, okay, when I come down those stairs, I'm looking at a full Carrera track on my right and a full HO track on my left. Now,
Nice. It is nice, Dad.
right, yeah, that's a good point, Robert. Tinkering is more fun, man. That's the reason why I've just decided that I'm no longer going to be a collector. I'm just going to be a hobbyist for HO. I used to collect, everything you see that's AFX related, I used to have 3 of minimal. I sold them all. I was tired of that. There's nothing to be gained. Their value is not increasing like you would think they would. You're going to have to sit on them for your grandchildren if you think that these are going to make any money, right? The only cars I've ever made money on selling HO, oh, well, of course you make a little bit, but I mean, these cars are the only cars that I've ever got any serious value from. So, right, and for obvious reasons. So now I just keep them all out, and when I'm ready to roll, I grab one. Depending on what day it is, I could be on the drag strip. And of course, I have to finish the big rig shootout. As you can see, we have the 3 of the 4 trucks involved in the final round still here. I will be making that video, folks, so hang tight. It's still coming out. What is it that I want? I don't want anything. I got it all. Yeah, see, Kevin, that's the way to do it. And of course, the new Bulldog or whatever your preference is. There's a whole bunch of nice chassis out there to fit underneath the Auto World ones. The Jag Hobbyist DR1 can actually be adjusted to fit into an extraction chassis. There is, I think it's called the NC1. I think that one's actually specifically made to fit in the extraction chassis. But they're both good. Yeah, I've never found the extraction chassis, and if you ever come across my good friend Steve's Stockpile Hobbies, if you guys want to check out some more HO and haven't come across them yet, go check out Steve at Stockpile Hobbies. He's got a lot of great videos, tons of knowledge, and he'll tell you what he thinks about the extraction chassis. Oh, I love you, Steve. You're awesome, bro. Yeah, so he completely decided to get rid of all of his extraction chassis, did a big blowout sale, and that was the end of his extraction experience. He was having a really rough time with them and stuff, so he was really good at painting them and tuning them up and things, but when you have so much problems with something over and over again, finally you just figure out a way to do things better. So that's just the way it goes, I guess. Yeah. Anything you guys? Any topics you want covered in the coming days? I think me and Rob are going to try and do a little segment like this as much as possible. At least, anyways, during the days, I see the day seems to be pretty empty of legitimate shows. So we'll see what we can do about maybe entertaining y'all for a little while and do a little song and a dance. I don't dance very good, and I'm certainly not a good singer, so watch the slot cars. All right. Oh, speaking of Tychos, there you go. The Run Forever chassis.
Oh. Yep, they don't make them like they used to. Be nice if they did.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're never going to see anything really big happen in HO until some big box store gets involved in it.
Well, that's what I think too, right?
It's
So I think that let's see if I can move it around now. Woo! God damn, that guy's ugly. All right, so all right, so let's see what's going on here. Hey, dude, thanks for joining us. Awesome. Um, yeah, you can see I got this little overhang here. The people who had the house before me stupidly put a fan here, and they had a fireplace hooked up in the back, and they're literally using the fireplace to heat the whole entire house by overheating this room and using the fan that's behind this wall right here to move the air upstairs into the main level. It was absolutely a crazy idea, and it would have trashed the house in no time at all. But, you know. So, I was coming across a little object, and it reminded me of the days I was making all the videos for Pro Tinker Toys new releases. This odd little box here with the 55 Bel Air Nomad on it. Yeah, have a few of these. Can tell you this much for sure. Had a good time making exclusives, making the videos for all of Pro Tinker Toys exclusives when they got started. Wow, I can only imagine how many cars they must have sold because of the videos that I put out. They weren't. There wasn't much people putting out videos at that time. It was a very odd time in slot cars, I think, where it was a sort of in-between time where people were sort of getting into it and other people were just sort of stepping out. Yeah, yeah, right, Kevin? Blew your mind yesterday. Yeah.
We weren't going to mention that, Kevin.
Yeah, I was going to leave that to the side, but all of his information is secondhand. Like he said, he has no firsthand information. He's telling me he's seen pictures of the inside of the plant where Auto World builds their cars, and that's a complete lie. No, he hasn't. He maybe has talked to somebody who has seen the inside of that plant, but he has never seen pictures of the inside of that plant. And you know why I know that for a fact? Because there would be a picture of it somewhere on the internet. So he lost his nut lying again, and his cars, the Bandit cars, are at Auto World. He told me on a live feed that Auto World was storing those cars for him. And then he's saying that I'm bullying him, but he's losing his nut on his live feed, saying that I this, that, or other, and he completely says it's secondhand knowledge from everywhere. So, all right, man, just keep saying my name loud. Say it loud so everybody hears it. Oh, you just missed a good Pro Tinker Toy show on Tuesday. No drama. Yeah. Yeah, some people don't understand that, and a racist. Some people don't understand that, like Brian, it's very possible that Brian never knew that I was the one making videos for all of his new releases, exclusives, when he first started getting going. It's very possible he never knew because I was always talking to Ryan. But it really just seems odd that he's just so incredibly ungrateful. And I've never done anything but to try and help them. Sure, their prices are expensive, because they are. And it's probably the reason why his business is in trouble. Other than that, I don't have a problem with him personally, other than now he let himself go and showed he's has racist attitudes towards Canadians, which is crazy, crazy. I could only imagine that the business might be doing a little better if they were more friendly to everyone equally, as opposed to just picking a crowd. But anyways, that's my take on it, Kevin. I know he said that I'm harassing him, but clearly he's always chewing on everybody all the time. And you listen to his stories, he's saying, "Oh, I never had a business." Well, yeah, I do have a business, and two, my business is not failed. And when you listen to his stories, it's all stories of how he was let go, or he's no longer with this company, or how does that fit into a successful company? I don't understand how that fits into being successful. Having 10 failed businesses doesn't make you successful. It makes you, at the very least, it just makes you a businessman. So, yeah, for myself, I tried to help all I can. I don't support people who buy subs. I don't support companies who don't support me. I've never asked Pro Tinker Toys for anything, for them to give me anything. Oh, recently I asked for 10% off to help pay for shipping, and I would make videos for the cars that they sent me, 10% off. Somehow, in the secondhand world, that turned into me asking for free stuff. I don't ask for free shit, man. Nobody gives me free anything. Oh, except Dan. Thank you, Dan, for sending me the Axle box. Absolutely fantastic. I can no longer say nobody's giving me anything anymore. Dan gave me the Axle box. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, and it's working out good for our family racing. Thanks, brother. So, yeah, I guess when Brian's saying that on the live stream that I'm asking them for free things, I I literally have never asked them for anything other than 10% off to help pay for the customs I'm going to have to pay when their stuff comes into our country. And when you realize after all the exclusives are really cool and everyone buys them, and you realize you're becoming popular and you jack the prices to the point where the guy who makes and buys all your videos and makes videos for your cars can no longer afford to buy from you. This is not my problem. This is not my fault. This is a hoarding problem. Instead of making a little bit of money and selling a lot of product, it's the exact opposite. It's top dollar and very little sales. Very little sales. So instead of making $45 for a car, how about you make $35 for that car and sell 8 of them instead of 2? So, right, no drama. I've never gained anything from them, although we grew together when we first got going. Okay, we grew together, and Robert's been there the whole time. Actually, Robert's always been there for me, brother, and I appreciate that always. From very first get go, Robert's always been there, so I appreciate that. So he's seen the whole thing. I mean, and I don't expect him to say anything out of character because his relationship with PTT is different than mine right now. I can tell you that for a fact. Um, and of course their opinions. It's all my opinion. I could be wrong about everything, but I could tell you what, nobody ever got flowers from me. And you guys always get the 100% truth, and that's why Brian doesn't like me, because I'm not feathery, I'm not flowery. If there's a problem, it's easy to figure out, but yet Brian's thinking about money. He's got pallets of that bad man sitting at Auto World that he owes Auto World for, So what do I say? Oh, you need to do pre-sales for those cars that Auto World has right now. And once you've gotten all the money, just pay them off, man. Instead, Brian wants to make top value on them. So it's bugging up his scenario right now. So yeah, that's right. So it's just kind of, and I see we have a few people in the comments and we have a few people in the background. And I have a feeling the people in the background are probably the people who need to hear what I have to say. And I'm good. I'm glad you're here because, there's, like I said, there's a lot of flowers in the slot car world. And one thing you don't ever get from me is that 100%. Right. I don't want flowery BS from a streamer either, HSF. And I have 3,000 subscribers and I don't give a shit. People who watch me know that they're getting 100% the truth. I only talk about real legitimate things and I'm not delusional and in a fairyland world. So I enjoy my hobby and I share it with everyone on a real level. Okay. If you guys ever remember, I had a problem with a rear axle pick kit from Slot Invasion. Okay, he replaced everything, and then my final thing, he asked me something, and I said, Oscar, your product is expensive. That's Oscar, the owner of Slot Invasion. I had to tell him his product was expensive because I'm not going to be blowing it out like it's a good deal. For a Slot Invasion guide, the price that he charges is outrageous because he's not just making 4 or 5 at a time. He's making thousands of them. They should literally be so cheap, and they're not. So I told him. So if you ever wonder how legit I am, I'm right on tap, brother. If you're tired of all the scratchiness going on, then right. Um, a machine slot car underground. That's exactly correct. And I'll even tell you a short little story here. I don't want to. Unfortunately, like Brian, I can contain myself in bashing people, but I'll tell you what. When I was making those exclusives when Pro Tinker Toys was first getting started, they gave me the PTT membership for free. I was getting that membership for free. I wasn't paying nothing for it other than probably a maybe, or never said though, but it could have been like, oh, will you make us videos for our exclusives? Here's a 10% membership. And then Ryan one day stabbed me in the back. He started asking me, oh, why are we sending you cars before you paid for them? I said, because that's the deal you made for me to make videos for you, and then I pay for the cars. They're not giving me the cars. They're just sending them to me, and I'm paying them for them when I do my reviews. So Ryan decided to change that, and then one day I'm waiting for the new cars to come, and I have to get a hold of him and say, hey, what's going on? He goes, what do you mean, what's going on? And started acting like he never ever had to deal with me at all. So I told him that they can keep their membership, their free membership that I was getting, and they can keep it. Because Brian also made another fib. He said to the membership that he would take the trucks out of all the slot car packages so that the members could buy just the trucks. And he never did that. And, not a word of a lie came out of my mouth. It's all true, unfortunately. But unfortunately, if he's going to start bashing me, I'm not going to bash him. I'm just going to clarify what's going on. He can go crazy and rant about secondhand information, but you guys just all got it firsthand. So if you want to waste your time, go watch Pro Tinker Toys live yesterday, and you'll see what's going on. And yeah, way too much, Right, Joe. Yeah. So you see, I have nothing to sell anybody. I don't do auctions. So, and I certainly don't buy subscribers. So, you know, um, hey, there are people out there who even think that if you use a robot voice in your video, you'll get tons more subscribers. I am a robot. Where are my subscribers? Probably fucking hiding, dude. That's funny. Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, it's interesting. Yeah, auctions are what's ruining slot cars right now. It's the reason why it's a large reason why Auto World's having problems selling slot cars, and because now in this modern age, everybody is just buying slot cars off the interactions with Facebook and stuff like that. So therefore, the money that would normally be spent ordering Auto World and that kind of thing is all going to auctions now. So that's right, Slot Car League of Champions. You just roll out the good content, and people pick that up right away. So you know what? All the cars that are on my track right now, those are all cars that I run now, and they just stay on the track. I used to have boxes and boxes and boxes of AFX cars. Um, Boxes and boxes of AFX cars, and I'm not that kind of collector anymore. Like I said, now I'll own and race, but the way AFX is focusing their direction, it's on cars that are not proper for the track. Not only are the cars touching, but there should be some room between the cars, legitimately. So they have to easily take a mil off the width of the car, which means the chassis, the wheel hubs got to come in, and of course the shell of the car needs to get smaller. So yeah, so it's been very interesting HO wise. I don't see too much. Right, there's too many options and that kind of thing. And this is, like I said, this is sort of what hurts the slot car economy. I know it sounds great that the money's changing hands, but the money's changing hands with the people who are not coming in, and the new racers um, are few and far between because all the business is being done with adults. Not like Carrera, who has Go 143. That's aimed at the younger crowd, specifically kids and that kind of thing. Although, don't get me wrong, guys, I know there are lots of 143 racers out there, so I'm pretty sure there's at least one in our comment section right now. And I don't mind it. It's nice, but I have the HO, and that's small enough already. So go full speed with 124. So. Um, Legitimately, I really wish that PTT could just get its thing figured out, because I don't know. Brian can bitch at me all he wants, but in the end, I've been with them since they've been putting videos out. So if you guys aren't sure of that, look back, find their first exclusive. It's in my playlist. They're all there. Watch them. They're actually pretty cool. I did some good jobs on them. I made those cars look really nice. So he needs a vacation, and I'm glad he's on it. Right? Getting back into racing, we're finding there's lots of people doing that now, and purely because of how fun it was. We remember how it was when we were kids, and the best part about it is now we're kids with money. We can buy what our parents wouldn't buy well, we were pulling on their sleeve at the toy department of you you name where, right? So I think that's what we need. We need a big time retailer to come in and let us know what's going on, because people need to know now. See if I can get this figured out here. There we go. All right. All right. So, okay. Oh, jeez, that wall's in the way. God damn it. Ah, there we go. How's that? Oh, I'm still crooked, but at least I'm a little more straight now. My wife thanks me for that. Right? We're all, yeah, I'm 50. I'll be 51 this August, so I'm back into it after many years away. Yeah, and of course there'll always be some room. So, Robert, give us your thoughts on where you think the direction of HO's headed. I know this is a good one. Let me see. Hang on a second.
Right now, we're stumbling in the dark here. There's no direction that I can see. Well, okay, AFX has their direction, which personally I'm not too happy about. They're doing what they think is the way to go, I guess. Just it's rather disappointing. I have a lot of old AFX, but I don't have any new AFX much because of the size of the cars. Just don't like the fact that they're making them so large. So the direction, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with Auto World. They're obviously regrouping somehow, I hope. I don't see anyone else coming out of the woodwork. We were kind of excited there. We thought maybe Mattel might get back into it a while ago there.
Right.
But they took the sponsor away from Auto World. But
right, yeah,
there doesn't seem to be anything going on there. So the sad thing is right now, because the economy is so bad, it's just a bad time all around, right?
Yeah, it seems a bit slow. I think what really needs to happen though is HO has to start focusing their efforts on the younger crowd, because they're going to be in trouble soon, man. All those older folks who are already in their ways, they're
absolutely. If it's if the grandfathers aren't getting the grandkids into it, it's going to be a lost cause, really.
Right. Well, that's just it too. Thanks for joining us, Chris. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, Chris has a good point here. The hobby is not cheap. It's definitely not cheap.
Well, that's another problem with it. I mean,
right?
Back when I was in my youth, which was a while ago, mind you, I could still afford to buy a slot car when I was a kid, right?
That's right.
Kids now, like $30-$40 for a slot car. I mean,
yeah, right. And depending on where you go with your slot car, there's $180 slot car.
And yeah, that's not even getting you a really good slot car. That's just getting you a slot car, period. That's kind of might be good, might not be good.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Yeah, it's like a crapshoot almost.
You see, no drama. That's exactly it, brother. This is what I've always been saying. And I'll tell you why I've always been saying what I say, okay? I always say that HO is not focused in the right area for this reason alone, okay? No kid gets his birthday money and is able to buy an AFX anything with his birthday money, right? When I was a kid, you could have easily bought a couple cars with your birthday money, easily. Now, No, if a kid can't buy his own car, he doesn't have the money to buy his own car, then the parent's buying the car. And that doesn't make the kid a buyer, it makes the parents a buyer. And this is what I've always said, the direction of HO slot cars needs to start. I know it might sound creepy, but you got to get into kid mode because your crowd is vaporizing. And I can tell you this much for a fact, the kid mode has to include innovation. Has to. Has to. For one, the track has to get wider. Has to. So, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good statement. They're losing the kids. They are. They are. Because you know what you know what they're pandering to now? The kids, when it comes to the kids? Oh, they're gonna have what is that? The car with the white racing car. It's Japanese or something. It's anime. It's escaping me.
Speed racer.
Yeah, Speed Racer. The Shaggy Mobile or the Mystery Machine. Okay, these are all stuff that relate to the people, to the adults. They're thinking, oh, they're cartoons. We'll push them out like the Looney Tunes. Do you really think that you're going to sell the Looney Tunes to younger kids? Absolutely not. There's no nostalgia there. They don't care. And that's the reason why they didn't sell very good. And there's hundreds of them available everywhere for a cheap price.
That's true, Dad, for sure.
Right?
And I thought about, buy the Looney Tunes cars for the kids, but the kids don't relate, so there's no point in buying them for the kids because they
Right.
don't know what you're buying. I don't know.
Yeah. And, Mike actually has a good point there too, right? And back in our day, if you didn't have a slot car set in your house, you had a pile of games, like that kind of thing, right? And those games always stayed. Like even in our house today, we still have like Monopoly and a few, like I believe we even have Sorry and that kind of thing, right? They're always around. Yeah. Um, well, you can hack your cars to make them fit, but there are some track out there I've seen somewhere for HO cars, and it is wider and properly spaced. But it would be nice if people would come out with that. Like everyone who's building tracks other than Auto World and AFX are building routed tracks, which is fine for the higher end racers. But the majority of the crowd are not high end racers that want to pay too much money for a routed track. Most people are always going to be plastic track racers. So, yeah, a new track would be a definite game changer. Definitely. Now, the problem with that, of course, is innovation costs money. And with innovation, there's no profit. Profit comes after the innovation. So, like AutoWorld found out, innovation is extremely costly. And if you can't complete your task, then you're left with leaving it. And I task you with thinking about the timer for their 4-lane track. That just completely disappeared. No news notice about it at all. No headlines, no talk. Just gone. What happened to their 4-lane sets? Gone. So it's
It's in the second drawer.
oh yeah, no, slot cars is about 1/10 of what RC is. Uh, so when I was talking with Steve from Shen RC or BS Slot Cars, of course he has 14,000 subscribers on his RC channel, and when what he thought was going to happen was lots of those people were just going to migrate over and he would have instantly be monetized. Well, it didn't work out that way because what it seems is there's definitely a segmented portion who do like the slot car racing with RCs, but most didn't. So he found he had to collect his subscribers like the rest of us, and it didn't sort of translate straight across, which it would be nice if it did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and you know what, Chris? Chris says here, there's a lot of hobbies to spend your money on today. Right. There's a lot of hobbies, and then there's a lot of other stuff. Drinking, drugs, that kind of thing.
Food, baby. Food's good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think if you've spent your money on slot cars instead of other destructive stuff, then you're probably having a pretty good day. And my guess is you're enjoying that slot car too, because that's why we buy them, to put the smile on the face. There's no other way. Why would we?
Slot car money is harder to come by these days, that's for sure. We don't seem to have that surplus that was once available.
Well, that's just it, right? Mike, have you ever, did you get that drone going yet? So I was, we were thinking, we're not exactly sure how many times we're going to do this per week or what have you. But I think this could be something regular. What do you guys think? You guys need a little something to fill your day? Maybe another reason to sit in front of your TV and watch slot cars? I love slot cars, man. That's talking about money, right? Hey, gosh, Marcy was complaining her husband bought $1,000 watch, right? Damn. Yeah. RC is expensive too. Yeah, no kidding.
Well, you know what? I should have pulled this out before, but I have to show off my little RC car.
Oh, is this the 164?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's not it. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just make sure the batteries don't go completely dead. So take them out and charge them if you haven't done that since then. Because they'll stop charging if you don't keep it charging them.
Oh, look at what I just got. Oh, boy, I need that.
Oh, what is that? You got a bowl of wax?
That's a big bowl of ice cream.
Oh, man, I'm jealous. Actually, no, I'm not. I got ice cream sandwiches in the fridge.
I need that like a hole in the head, but oh boy, I'm going to enjoy it. Okay.
This is my work. This is what I do. This is my professional business. Oh, yeah, there it is. 164 RC.
Check it out.
Awesome, yeah.
I've got so much junk around me here, I've hardly got a place to put anything down. I guess I should do something about that. Okay.
What's work? It's that terrible thing. Terrible.
Since we probably all know what a 57 Chevy looks like, there it is. Let me see if I can focus here somehow.
Put it in front of your face. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, it's even smaller than the.
Yeah, it's like real 187 scale, or maybe even smaller, but it's supposed to be 187. This is a full function RC car. Like it's. Yep, does everything.
Yeah,
I
agree. I agree. Very cool.
And it came with its own controller and stuff. And I believe at the time when I bought this, it was around $80 US.
Oh, that's the controller?
Yeah, that shows the. If it would focus, it would show the controllers. Oh, you know what it is? It's that background thing. That's
Yeah, it's trying to squirrel everything away.
yeah,
Hold it in front of your face.
but it's got a really decent controller.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
down a little. Yeah, right there. Yeah. And that's the controller that came with it?
Yep. So the whole package was around 80 something US.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
No. I used to have a quadcopter that Mike and Steffi bought for me. They have it now, so you'll see it with Mike Mertz. He has it now. This Mike, they bought it from me. Oh, absolutely fan! It's kick ass. I have videos if you want to see it in action. You can just check out my Canada Day videos from last year. What I did was I used my drone to pull up one of those parachute army men. I ordered a big parachute army man. I had my drone take it way up and drop it. It was so cool. And it's fun to run the drone just by itself and videotaping it. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, man, it is so much fun. And it takes really good video. There's pictures of me flying it around the backyard. The best thing that I really liked doing with it was just in my backyard. I'd just launch it straight up as high as it would go. And I just look around the neighborhood, or actually the neighborhood, look around the immediate area. I think I could look out like 24 kilometers on a clear day. So you get a really good view. Hey, Chuck B. Chuck B's in the house. Thanks, Chuck. Welcome.
hey, Chuck.
Yeah, well, that was the problem that I had. I was really nervous for the first little while, but with this new drone, it actually has a takeoff button where you hit the button. Before, what had happened was people would get nervous and they'd jam the controller stick in one direction or another, so either up or down, and then it would take off super quick, and it would freak them out, and they would try and pull the stick back down, and that's when everything just goes crazy. So with this drone, you literally hit one button, it flies up to I think 4 feet and hovers there until you take the controls. So it's pretty user friendly, and I would suggest definitely running it in a field before you try and run it in your backyard with dogs that are trying to eat it. So Jangle does not like the drone, and there's video of that too. So I used to have RCs as a kid, but I got older, and when I got back to having the money to do what I wanted to do, I could only afford one habit, I guess you could call it. So
Yeah, that's what kept me out of RC because I just when I get involved in stuff, I usually go in all the way. Right?
all in, right?
I'm all in, and I just could see me. I mean, just no way.
All right, I know what's going on here. Yeah, so wow, HO's been pretty busy lately, guys, with nothing. AFX has done a decent job with the new F1s. I'll give them that much. Absolutely fantastic. Makes me look like I'm in a tunnel.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so let's do this now.
It's rather disappointing after having so much last year. I mean,
it really has been, and that's like honestly, like I said, last year at this time, if you look at the videos I was putting out, I was doing the reviews for the monthlies, and there was a lot of cars coming out. Now, a bunch of those cars I didn't buy because I'm not interested in some of them,
yeah.
but there was definitely more.
And frankly, I mean, there was so much coming out that who could afford it all, really?
Well, and that was another problem too. I think they ran into, right? Auto World releases 12 cars at a time. Well, could we have spaced those? Like seriously, can we have spaced those out a little better? I think so. Do we need 12 slot cars at once, knowing that most of their people are collectors? they should be thinking about that kind of thing, right? Because when you want to keep the ball rolling as a collector, you need to have all the cars. That's just the way it goes if you're a collector. You know, anybody who's collecting slot cars knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, they put out another iteration of the mystery machine. Well, what's different about it? Oh, they added this little tiny yellow dot on the front of whatever. Like let's do another iteration of the Batmobile. Now we got the Batmobile in construction mode with missing doors and this kind of thing. I think we're good. The Batmobile's been played. It looks good. Let's bring on the Blues Brothers. We would like to see the Breeze set at some point in time.
You can never have too many Bel Airs, Mike.
Right. We talked about the Bel Airs already, Mike. Here's a Bel Air packaging from one of the very first reviews I ever did for Pro Tinker Toys. It was underneath my race set. So this is one of those Bel Airs you're talking about, brother. It's odd that you mentioned that. Ooh, here it is. Yeah, no more flames. So there's that one.
Ford GTs kind of, there was, what did I say? I think there was 18 for sale. 18 different Ford GTs for sale at one time on Pro Tinker. Like they had it in stock.
No more flames, right? No more flames. I mean, you got to do flames on some cars, but you can't just be like, okay, flame on, and you turn around and your whole entire collection's got flames on it. It's like, I really like the flames on the AFX Camaro.
The realistic flame.
Yeah, you see, this is a good example of both their realistic flames. I like this. Okay, it's played. It looks good. Let's keep it there. We don't want to ruin it. I really love the shape of this Camaro. Very nice, right? This Corvette, not so good. And why do I say not so good? Have you ever seen that kind of gap above the wheels on a... Look, you can see right through it. You can see my hat through that gap. Woo! That's a big hole. So it would be nice if this car were a little more like this. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But I do like I said, I do like the look of the real flames. But we're good. We're good. They look good. We're good. Yeah, Z28. Have you seen Shen RC's Z28, Mike? He's got a big, his video's out for that now, finally. Been looking at that car in the background for so long, I was beginning to think that it didn't even move. But man, it is nice. Wow. You guys want to check out a cool Z28? Go check out, I can't remember if he posted on BS Slot Cars or Shen RC. But it's on one of those. He's probably got it on both. I would have posted them on both. But go check it out. Absolutely fantastic. Wow, super nice. I used to have a 75 Firebird, but I certainly wouldn't be making a video about it. Yeah, 230, straight six 231. The smallest engine made for that car. Oh, was it pathetic? Woo! But at least it wasn't rusting and it had the fin on the back, so it kind of looked cool. It really got screwed up, though. Me and a buddy, when we were younger, were driving down the back lane, and the ball joints on the front both broke at the same time, both of them. So the whole front end of the car dropped to the ground instantly, and it was like, wham! It was like being hit with a brick wall. We're only doing like 35, but when you hit the brick wall at 35, everything starts coming towards you really fast, like the steering wheel. So I'm busy sucking the steering wheel up, and my buddy over here, well, we live in Canada, and he's rolling us one of those green cigarettes on the dash, and it all goes into the vent. I
I had a really bad problem driving my car using the using the heat, because every time I turn the heat on, I smell like Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong. I'm sure everyone's seen that movie. That's what my car must have smelled like every time I turned the heater on, because this whole entire bag went down the vent when the car dropped to the ground. The bag just went. Whoop. So, yeah, what a waste. Damn. So looking forward to that too. Instead of the huge tow bill and trying to figure out why my car is not moving. Yeah, both ball joints at the same time. Oh, I've never even heard of that happening before. So, yeah. Well, that's my greenery comment for the day. Oh, I think we can get rid of that now. Yeah, 2 players, and that's correct, Joe. Yeah. And of course, you can have a private track built for you by other companies, and we all know what those other companies are. Expensive though, mind you, and the prices have all gone up in the last few years, easily. But I guess it's a supply and demand kind of thing. What I would really like to see on the HO side, sort of sum up today's HO conversation, is what I would really like to see, and we'll follow it up with what Robert would like to see happen in the HO community, or at least just with HO cars in general. For myself, I would literally like to see a new set come out. Okay, and in this new set is going to be the new track that AFX is proposing. Okay, now, of course, I've got my thinking cap on, right? I look like Mr. Moose from Wally World, but in the end, here's why this is not such an incredible statement that I've just made. Okay, now when we're talking about a new set, in this new set, we'll have this new wide track. Now, what I'm telling you, Auto World will have to do, or AFX will have to do, is they'll have to split the track. The track needs to be split, and there has to be at least a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch more track, or just plastic put in between the 2 tracks. If you've seen my drag strip, you know what I did was I literally stripped the straights in half and widened the lanes to make more space between the vehicles. Can I turn that on right now? I can turn that on. Okay, so I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So here we are having a look at the track right now. And you can see what I've done is I split the track in half, right? Here's where the track starts being split. You can see right there, normal track. And then I've split this piece right here. And now what this is, these are all straights that I've split in half, right? All the way down. So what that does is, look at all that room. Okay, now let's put the cars in question on the track. Okay, now out of fairness, we were talking about the new Mustang. Okay, there you go. And there you go. Okay, now one more time. On the track it doesn't fit on. Here we go. This is the corner before the track gets split. And you can see they're bumping off each other. So now what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm suggesting that whoever, whether it be Auto World, it's probably not going to be Auto World, if AFX does this, what they need to do is they need to make this track like an infinity track, okay? Like just a standard box set of just this track. They don't need to sell the cars in it. This is a focus on the track. The highlight is not the cars. Everyone has the cars already. They don't need to concern themselves with putting cars into this particular track. They need to get this track out so people can see it. And when I'm saying the Infinity by AFX, the Infinity by AFX is one of the smallest, cheapest tracks you can get. I can imagine that adding this extra piece in the middle that I was talking about, just to make the two lanes a little further apart, wouldn't cost very much. The cost would be in the tooling. But the tooling is a one-off deal, okay? Now, the reason why I say AFX needs to make one set with this new tooling is to see how it goes. Now, if you ask me, if they put a wider track on the market before Auto World does, what is that going to mean? And this is the point where they start with the younger crowd. Right. Well, yeah, Chuck's got it here. They can make an adapter track to you. That's right. They absolutely could. Oh. And here's 143. Hey, PNW, thanks for joining us, brother. Awesome. Track 45. Oh, man, right on. Love it. If you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you do so. He's doing the track builds. We're at 45 now, so there's quite a bit there. It's lots to look at. I love that. Yeah. Love the content. Oh. Oh, no. Hey, don't say anything. I'm live right now.
There you. That's good.
Here.
I'm at work, dude.
Oh, you're fired. I'm live right now, though.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, okay. I'll call you when I'm done.
All good, brother.
Right on.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know, Dan. That track idea. I see where you're coming from with the track idea, but
You see,
that'll never happen. I could never see that happening.
I personally don't think it'll happen either, but I think the way I've just laid it out would be the best way to go about it. Like throw a line in the water first and see if it's going to make you money.
Yeah, but I mean, when they would even come out with a new car body or something, there's no way they're going to start redoing all their different track pieces. I mean,
right. And Slot Car League of Champions. This is why I say we would focus on the younger crowd for the new wider track, because most of the old timers, they already got their track. It's probably not even a current track. By the looks of it, most old timers are looking for Aurora track and shit. Okay, cool. That leaves what I feel is a more a robust track with AFX. I really like the new AFX Race Masters track. Almost all of my track is that, only because it's newer and it's my preference. So, plus a little biased. I built my channel on AFX slot cars pretty much. So I'd prefer. I've just preferred to go with the better product the whole time. There's nothing wrong with Auto World's power track and their new adjustable power supply. In fact, I would have to edge out AFX in that respect, where Auto World, I do like their power supply better, where you can dial it to any number you want. But I could tell you guys how to get around that right now. If you want to be able to dial your AFX controller, your power pack from 22 to anything you want, just put a light dimmer in between the switch and the plug. That's all you're doing. Just put a light switch and it works perfectly fine. You can use the knob like a dimmer for the light, but you use it on the track for the power. Does exactly the same thing. I wish I had don't seem to have one handy, but it's literally just a light dimmer. It's nothing special. So that's what I was doing when I was trying to get some voltage in between what Auto World or AFX would hold. That's right, Chuck. Absolutely correct. And that's why I always say right now, HO is a cash grab because everyone's just making cars. There's no innovation happening. So when you're just making cars, that's literally just money. Everybody's scared right now. Yeah. The AFX, like I said, that one's better. And like, let's face it, Auto World had to one up AFX on their Tri-Power power pack because AFX had the Tri-Power power pack for a very long time now. Auto World has totally crapped the bed on getting their stuff up to par that they started putting their money in the wrong basket. So, hey, there's Joe. Thanks, brother. Good to see you here. Right. That's exactly it, Mike. And unfortunately, I do think that if Auto World were already up to par with AFX, then innovation, I think money for innovation would have been there. I don't think it was there now because it was literally wasted. Right. Right. So, it's okay. So back to my rendition of what should be happening with HO. So in this set, of course, we have the little bit of a wider track, and I'm not saying a lot. I'm saying just a little bit. You've seen my drag strip and how much difference it makes. So, and I'm not talking about them selling cars with this set either. This is just a set where literally people who are interested in the new setup, maybe if they're going to put cars in it, I would suggest that they put something modern and exciting in there. I don't suggest they load it up with the Candy Striper and the Green Apple or whatever the other one is, the Moneymaker. I mean, great liveries for people who are over 50. If you're younger than 50, you're probably saying, what's a 55 Chevy? Wasn't important. Once again, it was important in some people's lives and not in the other. But it is an impressive car. I'll give you that much. It is an impressive car. But once again, when Auto World got the rights to use that shell, they changed it. Why they had to do that, I don't know, but they did. And it was exactly the same as the semis. When Auto World got a hold of the semis, they completely changed it from the way it used to be from Aurora. And there are some variations that we picked apart in another video that actually make the differences. The guide pin for the trailer that goes into the truck at the back needs to be longer and skinnier like the old one. The back wheels need to stop flopping from side to side because the axle's too long and the axle housing is too short. And those two things alone would make a dramatic difference in how those trucks run. So, and like I said, everybody loves the truck. Everyone loves the trucks. Everyone loves the trucks. The liveries look great. The Love's livery is like, to me, it was really basic and not super interesting, but they did good. And why did they do good? Because they're trucks. They don't run good, but they look great. And hey, if you're willing to tinker around with them long enough, it took me 2 hours to get one of those two trucks in the Ice Road Trucker set running. If you're willing to take the time, you can make it run. I got faith in you. Just keep at it. So, yeah, that Candy Striper, boy, that was an interesting slot car. That caused a lot of fuffle, if you could call it that. Oh, you don't own a semi, Kevin? I do not own a semi. I'll have to keep that in mind because
Get yourself one, Kevin. You don't know what you're missing.
yeah, right. Well, you should like I said, you should experience it. Like I'll tell you right now, the higher end cars, the Vipers and stuff, they're not made for the plastic track. They're not. They're made for routed. They're made for club tracks. They're made for professional racers. But at the same time, you don't know what you have as a hobbyist until you know what you don't have. When you race one of the top cars, once again, I'm not going to mention them. You guys all know who they are. When you race the top car, it's a much different experience than dropping an Auto World extraction chassis onto the track and it not moving. Like, what a point I made earlier when I dropped two AFX cars or two, Auto World chassis on the track and neither of them moved. That is interesting. So. Yeah, right.
You're back there, yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah. Well, our next conversation is going to be on the large scale cars. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you check out the next. Yeah, it really seems that is the case. They I want to say they are. Honestly, they're a pain in the ass. The very first car that the very first semi I ever did, of course, most people have seen this by now. Robert designed this one. Let's see if it's too bright here. Hang on a second. Okay, so that's it. And this is the Astro out of the Ice Road Trucker set. And there were it took me forever to get this running. And the Astro is actually supposed to have the gas tanker on it. It would not move. So I had to use the box truck. Let me turn this off. There you go. So, and I know this isn't anything special or any big wow deal or what have you, but it's like I always say, in order to know what you have, it's good that you build one yourself. And everybody should do their own slot car, regardless of being a truck or a car. I definitely think that everybody should try and give their own hand at giving yourself that wow feeling. And you might be thinking, well, what am I talking about? Well, that wow feeling, it's the feeling you get when you build it yourself, right? You're going to have to maintain it, but building it is cool. That's why the pit kits are absolutely fantastic. That's why I pushed the pit kits like crazy for ProTinkerToys.com. I pushed those pit kits like crazy. I can remember two builds in specific. One, a snowy start to a T-Jet build where I start off in a winter landscape, and then the second one is I build a extraction chassis upside down. And I build them regularly too, but I mean, this was just how it was going at the time. And now they're recalling all the pit kits because people think they are food. Good thing they don't sell Tide Pods in the pit kits. They'd have to recall those too. Damn it. Eating, gosh. Seriously, things like this don't come around until some idiot goes and does something dumb. So who's the dummy? Well, you really can't. You
Well,
can't.
that's
It.
not necessarily true, Dan. There are people who are trying to save us from ourselves. You know.
Oh yeah, that could be, right? That could be. There could be that one day where I'm just like, fuck. I had a rough day today.
Swallow a couple magnets.
Oh man, I'm gonna get a couple of level 52s, man. We're going big time here.
Well, they're not going to be available, Dan. You can't do that.
Here you go. I'm gonna swallow some motor magnets. Yeah, I don't think so. By the way, these work really good on 132 cars. Yeah, so wow. 2 hours. Great conversation, guys. Fantastic. Thank you all for being here. I absolutely appreciate it. Fantastic. Yeah, new way of dragging ass. That's right. What do we got here? Oh, thanks a lot, Mike. Did you see it? Or I think you came in just after I showed it. I'm pretty sure. Show you quickly here. So now, right here where that pad is, there's going to be a 2-car garage with the push of a button. So remotely, the doors will open up and the lights will come on in the garage. And I want to thank Pete from Show Me Slot Cars. He's building it for me, or for us. It'll be for sale. I'll be showing it off momentarily in the next little while. Let's see if I can get out of the way here. Okay. And then, of course, we got, where am I? Axle box. And, of course, stop button 1 and stop button 2. So, I'm still learning how to use them. But anyways, so that's the stop button. And yeah, I'm just working on the layout. That centerpiece right there, this comes out. That comes out so that there's a hole there. Otherwise, I can't reach anything in the back. And I'm going to get the mural looked at. I'll be looking at an idea for the mural for the whole entire back wall. The mural will be 3 feet high by 22 feet long. So it'll wrap from that white piece in the back there all the way to here. And that'll be for the Carrera digital racing and that kind of thing. Yeah, Auto World executive swallowed a magnet and was like, oh, we can't have this happening anymore. Oh, man. That's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming along for sure. Once I get the mural in the back, we should be good. It'll at least look a lot better. Right now, when I'm in front of only the white, it actually looks a little bit like a green screen, and it kind of bugs me. It looks unfinished, like I should have something there. But I spent all my money and bought these really cool Red Bull flags to go around the skirt of the table. So 2 more here. Got a good deal on them. If you guys are looking for flags, hit up the flag shop on eBay. They're really cool. They're super cheap. They're thin, but they look really nice. I wouldn't fly them on a pole because they'd probably get ripped apart right fast. But like I said, they do look nice, and they finished the table. That's for sure. At least the bottom part. Just need to get the top part finished now. So... yeah.
All right.
And Raul from Conquest Racing sent me this to try out. It's a magnetic racing light. I really like Magnetic Racing's products, but as a Canadian, it's out of price for me, unfortunately. What happens is, of course, the exchange kills you, and then Canada Customs has their hand out at your door. They want 1/3 of whatever the cost of what was sent to you. So it puts it out of perspective for me. But I always wanted to try it out. So this is a single head light, and we'll give it a try. And who knows? I'm looking for lighting right now. I have a few different ideas. But ideally, I would certainly like to line my track with these. But financially, it would crack me in half to light my track with this. It does look nice, though. If you guys, if you're an American, you don't have the same problems financially getting these as a Canadian does, I would pick them up for sure. They look really good. Ian and Doug have done a really good job. I know I don't talk about magnetic racing at all because I just don't have magnetic racing stuff. And like I said, I wish I did, but financially I can't. So yeah. And of course, I'll be doing the review for this car right away. This is the second car, the one I will be racing. If you remember correctly, there was something wrong with the first one, and it was promptly replaced right away by Ernie. And I don't think this card goes with this car. Wrong car. So that goes with the Porsche. And yeah. So, but before I get into this car, I have to tune up the Revo Slot 510s. I have to do it. Me and Irene are racing them this Sunday. So make sure you check us out Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, guys. Where me and Irene battle it out again. And if you haven't checked it out, sure is a good time. Damn. I'm so happy that she likes to race, especially now that the track is a little bit longer. My last layout of Carrera was just a temporary one, and it was just so that I could gain knowledge of how Carrera worked and the cars and that kind of thing. It was a bit squirrely and really loopy, kind of, with not very much speed involved. So I changed that up right fast. So yeah, so that'll be coming up. Right away, I'll be doing the reviews for that. I've been holding off on doing reviews and stuff while I was working on the track. It's kind of cringy when I'm trying to get things done, or reviews, and everything's in shambles. I like things to look finished, so that's where we're at right now. Finished enough, and it's go time. So I told everyone on my live stream that I would take everyone on the ride of where I go from only having 53 subscribers per month now. And you all know 3 months ago I was making 300 subscribers in a month. So I deliberately stopped making videos and slowed down my YouTube production so that I could make a legitimate run at what I'm about to do. So my whole plan is now I'm at 53 subscribers a month, and I plan on bringing it back up over 300 again. And I'm going to take you guys along for the ride and show you how I go about doing that. I know there's lots of people who have YouTube channels who say they don't care. You do. Just wait till you get monetized. You will. And once you do get monetized, you're probably going to want to start making money. Even if that money comes free for just you doing what you love, you might as well make as much as you can. So not only will we go over how much money you could be making, we'll also go over what you should be doing to make subscribers appear on your page. So, and none of it's really hard. I literally listen to the Creator series, and if you're interested in growing your channel, I suggest you watch all of them. Even if they don't pertain to what you're looking at, there's always something that leads to something else. I've gotten so much good information from the Creator series, and it is absolutely amazing on the differences it makes. So, yeah. And all of that without buying one subscriber. So, I want to thank you guys. Oh, no, I don't. Not yet. I mean, I do, but not yet. So, before we head out, let's get Robert's opinion on what he thinks needs to happen. If you had the magic stick, Robert, what would need to happen to HO?
Oh, wow. Somebody new getting in the game, or somebody old getting in the game. Somebody else getting in the game. Patel would be a great choice. That would make a big difference. Barring that, the existing players need to get into the big box stores.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a lost cause, I think.
What do you guys think in the comments? For those of you who are fans of HO or have tracks, what do you think? If you could list one thing off the top of your head, what do you guys think would make a difference? To be honest, like I said, track size for me, I think, is where HO has no choice but to go to now. Cars aren't doing it. You can't just keep building cars. Because like I said, you're going to build your crowd. You're going to build cars for your crowd right out, and you'll have nothing behind it. So I think the track size is extremely important. So we'll have to see. AFX just put out their new Mustang. It looks good. I don't own it. Because I'm a practical buyer now, and cars that are too big for a track, well, then you need to make a track to put them on, or you need to make the cars smaller. But in the meantime, I can't keep filling your pockets with product that's not proper. Now, proper for who? Once again, this is my opinion, and maybe people don't see that they're not small enough. I could show you the paint from the blue car on the orange car when they're running together on the track. You don't see it when they start, but I have to rub it off when the race is done, because they are touching. They are touching. Right. Chuck B's right here too. AFX has done a fantastic job with the new F1. Absolutely awesome. They've done a good job with the Ford GT 350. And like I said, 350, that specific style will come out in 500 soon. And of course, they're going to put it in a few more colors. So that's the white. The white car looks fantastic. I think it looks good. Its functionality is good. It fits on the track properly. That's pretty much it with that car. I think that, like I said, we're going to see each of those cars in a few more colors. And like I said, I would almost put money down and bet anybody that the next car out from AFX will be a Camaro. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. No drama. Awesome, brother. We'll see you again. Thank you. So, on that note, it's been a day. It's been an extremely quick 2 hours. Yes. Yeah, I sold mine. I got a lot of money for both. I had 3 of the Peugeot style cars in packages, and they all sold for $200 Canadian. So that would be like $160 American or something, $165 American. So they are, and you're absolutely correct. Those cars are highly sought after, highly. And that's because of how they look. AFX had the rights to use the Peugeot name and that car style, and unfortunately they don't own either of them anymore. So they can't use the name Peugeot, and they certainly can't use that shell on the car. So it's a bit of a shame. Here, HO needs a timing. Yeah. Right. And I'll tell you what, right away, Pete from Show Me Slot Cars, he's going to be visiting his dad. And at his dad's house is an HO track with pit lane, gas up station, and a whole bunch of other things. Basically, he's almost digitized his HO set. He's used Adreno, and he's got everything hooked up like we would have wanted it to be if AFX or Auto World would have picked up on it. And it's just Adreno. It's nothing overly spectacular. So these companies could have easily have caught on and done this, but they just haven't, because there's no money in innovation until the innovation's done, which is a shame, you know. But I do believe that it's this kind of thing that's killed AFX's pockets. Not buying liveries or proper company liveries and that kind of thing has completely bunked up things. So yeah, it's you know, it's not that I'm gone from HO, and I never will be. It's, man, I grew up, me and my brother sat in the basement for hours and played HO. I don't care what anybody says, man. That memory, it will always be there. It's one of the best memories. I was 8, my brother was 6-ish, in that area. We're 2 years apart exactly. So I always had that person to play racing with or race with. And it's the greatest thing. And once that memory is in your mind, it just never leaves and will always be there, right? So as an adult, it's like we say, we have the money now to buy the toys that we wanted when we were younger and our parents wouldn't buy for us. So that's why we go out and we do things like build this crazy 10 by 13 slot car track with 3 tracks around it, right? So then once you realize that your childhood dream was only super awesome for that particular track because of the fun you were having with the people you were with. That being said, the track has not changed in that amount of time. So I hope HO starts to wake up soon, because I really think that HO is going to start to starve because the people who are playing with HO right now are all older. So
yep, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, that's just it, Robert. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that innovation will come in before I'm too old to squeeze the trigger. But I just don't see it happening because, well, let's just say HO is an analog product, and I think just about every analog product, except for Hobbyist, is going to disappear. Everything's digital. In our worlds, in digital.
Well, yeah. If you want to follow the progression, I slot cars eventually I could see it being replaced by RC. I mean,
yeah, it's like the Carrera hybrid.
There's kind of no reason why it can't or why it wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like the Anki Overdrive. Carrera bought it and turned it into Carrera hybrid, and apparently you're supposed to be able to drive these cars off the track as well. Well, then why wouldn't you just buy an RC car? It's interesting to me.
We want more control. We want more features built in, right?
Yeah, this is true statement here. Losing interest, yeah. So that's like what I was saying. They're catering to a crowd they know they can make a quick buck from, and that's it. And that's especially with the exclusives. Like even when you look at Brian, when he puts out his exclusives, it revolves around something it's going to be a 50-year-old or older car. It's not going to be anything new or exciting. But, you know, it's his dollar. But like I said, that's a quick buck. That's not helping HO at all by moving it forward.
In Brian's defense, like, you know, if they don't put out some new molds, he can't very well choose to make a new car, right?
That's right. And for people who think that Slot Car Corner or whatever Bob Beers is associated with, he's always made it sound like that competition pack car was his. It's not his car. AFX just hadn't put it out yet, and that he had the first opportunity to get it into production. That's it. He didn't make the shell. AFX did. He painted it. Crappy, by the way. He painted it crappy, by the way. And if you're not sure about that, you can check out the re-review of that. And that's a whole nother scenario. But yeah. Cool. Well, 2 hours and 16 minutes, folks. We've done it today, I would have to say. Let me see. Where are we here? Well, let's start off by saying, Robert, I'd like to thank you for interesting conversation, and we will certainly do this again for sure.
Well, I hope so. It's been fun. It's great being able to watch what's going on in the chat. I do.
Yeah, it works out good, right?
Yeah, it's almost as good as being able to have everybody live so we can talk at each other. But
yeah,
that gets to be a little bit of a row after a while. There's too many people involved.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, yeah.
No, this has been a lot of fun.
Awesome, guys. So once again, Robert, I want to thank you. Oh, hang on.
I was going to say I'd like to thank everyone for sticking with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and much of the same for myself. Thanks for joining us this morning or afternoon, whatever it may be for you. You know, I'm sure there's better or worse things that everyone could be doing right now, and we want to thank you for being here with us. We'll definitely see you very soon. Stay tuned. We'll try and do it at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every time we do this. I can't guarantee the day, but I can guarantee that it will be 10 o'clock. So I think that's sort of midline in the morning for most of the people, whether you be on one side of Central Standard Time or the other. I think it fits in good. So once again, I want to thank you guys, and just remember, you just gotta keep doing what you love to do. Keep the smile on your face, and make sure you let everyone know that slot cars are around. Don't let them forget. We'll see you all next time, where we'll be at the large scale track. I want to thank you all for being here.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go do
Slot cars in the garage?
Yup.